With Victor, it ultimately came down to the fact that the keepers were noticing he was just really not thriving in his environment, basically because of the thought that he was having issues with finding his food. You know, the fact that he couldn't see his food in his enclosure at Audubon really necessitated us to do the surgery for Victor, because again, we had to kind of balance, again, the stresses of capturing him, bringing him here, doing surgery on him, and the recovery process too. Unfortunately, with ocular disease, we end up having to do a lot of post-op treatments. We have to really think about how we're going to do that to make sure that the surgery is going to go well for them. And so we had to weigh all of those options. But the fact that he wasn't finding his food in his enclosure well, that kind of led us to think that we really did need to pursue the surgery for Victor.
The fact that Victor is a relatively young alligator really played into our decision to try this surgery, because we know that he has hopefully decades ahead of him. So if we could get him more comfortable now and fix what could be a lifelong problem, we've now removed that problem. So he should be happy and comfortable, hopefully for a long time to come.
It always comes down to how can we ensure that what we're doing is going to benefit our patient, and we don't want to do any surgeries that are not of benefit to them. I think the team was very excited to say that we would be able to help Victor. Having him pass those tests, very gratifying and exciting for surgery.
Regardless of what the animal is or what species it is, we're going to try to do our absolute best to make sure that they have the best life possible.
As ophthalmologists, we're used to seeing multiple different species and having to adapt and develop a mode to treating those different species. And so it could be a small squirrel, it could be a large Victor. And so as a clinician, you always want to make sure you do the best job possible. So researching the literature and finding nothing to really help me develop a plan ahead of time that had already been done and tackled, that was a little bit daunting, I'll be honest. It was a little daunting. But then I just kept researching the literature, trying to reach out to people to just kind of find any steps that could help me know how to approach that particular case. They do have other papers that are out there on surgical techniques for other species that I kind of modified.
There were a lot of people in that room that day. There was the Audubon Zoo, the whole anesthesia team, the whole zoo medicine team. There are students that are there watching, and of course the whole ophthalmology team. So it was quite a few people watching the surgery, but when you're in surgeon mode, you kind of just focused on what you need to focus on. So I'm worried about how is my surgery going? What's the next step of my procedure? How is the patient doing under anesthesia? And just making sure if anything needs to be changed on my end compared to their end, because it is kind of a symbiotic relationship. We have to kind of work with each other during these surgeries. So that is my priority. So honestly, I didn't really think about anything really going on around me. But I want people to hopefully appreciate that this is something that is really important, to be able to continue doing unique, novel surgeries like this. It really helps pave the way for future animals to receive the same care. It also, in certain ways, can help people. So the scientific community, it's all interrelated. Animal health will affect human health, will affect environmental health. So if we're able to even make a small step in one surgery with one patient with one specific species, it will have ripple effects in certain ways. So I never want to overlook even a small opportunity like that. I think it's really important. Science and research overall is just incredibly important in moving things forward in this world.
We kind of realized that he could see a lot better again on that side, because when we would go to get on him, he knew that we were coming for him. And when I removed that port specifically, I think was the best time when we knew, because he saw my hands coming when I went to pull the port out of his eyelid, and he reacted like he could see us. So that was pretty exciting for us. I don't think he was thrilled about it, but it really confirmed for us that his eyesight had been restored on that side.
So luckily I've been able to email, they're okay with me emailing constantly about how is Victor doing, and they've been really great about reporting back to me. We also have our residents in zoo and exotic animal medicine. They rotate through, and so Dr. Hugo had spent the last 3 weeks with Victor at Audubon, which was great. So he was able to give me some feedback on how things were going as well. But they've been really communicative with us.
The surgery went excellent. We were super happy with how everything went. He did wonderful under anesthesia. He did great when he was waking up, and then his entire recovery process was very smooth.